The drugs baron, who was known as Britain's Pablo Escobar, has been freed from a maximum security prison after 14 years. Curtis "Cocky" Warren, 59, was yesterday released from Whitemoor Jail in Cambridgeshire, and he is said to be returning to Liverpool, which was where he ran his criminal empire. His former drugs gang was previously believed to be worth 200 million, and he will now be subject to stringent restrictions. Warren is prohibited from using social media apps such as WhatsApp and Facebook, and he must give officers 24 hours notice before stepping into any friend's car. He is also banned from possessing more than £1,000 in cash, and his finances will be scrutinized by the National Crime Agency for 5 years, The Sun reports. After making links with a Colombian drug lord who could guarantee the best supply of cocaine into Britain, Warren built an empire that gained him vast riches and notoriety. At the time, he was believed to have drug-producing contacts in countries including Iran, Morocco, South and Central America, Ghana, Thailand and Australia. He was jailed in 2009 over plans to smuggle 1 million of cannabis into Jersey. Warren later had time added to his sentence after he failed to pay a £198 million confiscation order under the Proceeds of Crime Act. Warren is now said to be heading back to Merseyside, where he built his drugs empire. A source close to him said. Cocky always planned on coming back to Liverpool. His barrister Anthony Barraclough said. The first thing he wanted to do was to see his mother. He just wants peace and quiet. He is allowed to have a decent ordinary life. Warren has been banned from using cryptocurrency and has to give 7 days notice if he wishes to travel to Scotland. Failure to adhere to the bail conditions could land him another 5 years in prison. The National Crime Agency said. Action against serious and organized criminals doesn't end with a conviction. Warren was born in Liverpool in 1963. He was the second son of Curtis Aloysius Warren, a black seaman with the Norwegian Merchant Navy. His mother Sylvia Chanter was the daughter of a shipyard boiler attendant. The gangster was age 12 when he dropped out of school and launched his criminal career. His first brush with the police came when he was caught driving a stolen car despite barely being old enough to see over the wheel. In 1978, the then 15-year-old was sentenced to 3 months in a detention center. And at 18 was sent to Borstal for assaulting police officers. In 1979, he was convicted for cracking a woman's skull with a shotgun during an armed robbery. And in 1983, Warren received a 5-year term for armed robbery. When he was released, Warren worked as a bouncer for Liverpool clubs and then started a business that organized doormen. Now with the benefit of controlling access to many venues, Warren reportedly began selling cannabis and ecstasy. But his path to becoming synonymous with Escobar, a man who was head of the Medellin cartel and known as the King of Cocaine, truly began in the late 1980s when he teamed up with Brian Charrington and headed to Venezuela. The men arranged to import cocaine sealed inside lead ingots, making it difficult for the authorities to detect by X-ray. In 1993, a drugs trial that Warren was embroiled in collapsed. Warren reportedly told customs officers, "I'm off to spend my 87 million from the first shipment and you can't effing touch me." In 1995, Warren moved to Holland, where he continued his cocaine smuggling enterprise. But now he was sending the drugs to Bulgaria, where he had bought a share of a winery. Warren's grand plan involved suspending the cocaine in red wine and then shipping it to Liverpool and freeing it from the liquid. But in 1996, the Dutch police intercepted 400 kilograms of cocaine that had been encased in lead and was bound for Bulgaria. They had been listening in to his phone calls. At other addresses controlled by the Liverpudlian, they found 1,500 kilograms of cannabis resin, 60 kilograms of heroin and 50 kilograms of ecstasy. There were also 960 pepper spray gas canisters, 3 guns, ammunition, and 400,000 in Dutch guilders. The whole haul of illicit goods was said to be worth 125 million. Warren was sentenced to 12 years in prison and then was given a further 4 years after being convicted of killing another prisoner following a fight in the exercise yard in 1999. After serving 2/3 of his sentence, 10 years and 8 months in total, Warren was released in the summer of 2007. His first act was to return to Britain to visit his elderly mother. 2 years later, Warren was convicted of the crime that would keep him behind bars until this month. He was jailed for 13 years over a plot to smuggle 1 million of cannabis into Jersey. He and 5 others planned to flood the Channel Island streets with huge quantities of the drug. Warren's gang aimed to buy 180 kilograms of cannabis in Amsterdam and then take it by car to the coast of Normandy, where it would be put on a boat to Jersey. The street value of drugs is there times higher on Jersey than in the UK. But unbeknown to Warren, he was being trailed by Jersey police and a serious organized crime agency. At the time, he had also failed to pay a 198 million confiscation order which increased his sentence. The National Crime Agency has claimed that Warren also invested in a $4 million gold mining venture in Guyana, along with more money in petrol stations and homes in numerous countries. Speaking to The Guardian from his prison cell in 2013, Warren tried to claim he was anti-drugs. He said, "It's just not good, is it? Bloody hell, I've never had a cigarette in my life or drink. I've never tasted alcohol or anything." The gangster did not feel sorry for the people he had left hooked on the likes of heroin. Instead, he was more worried about his mother's feelings. Referring to his 1979 conviction for cracking a woman's skull with a shotgun during an armed robbery, he said, "For my mother to read that. That's not nice stuff to read. It's like the last time I was arrested in Holland they said I was in bed with a prostitute. It's not true, as I told my girlfriend at the time.